Welcome back to the shop. I get to start off my week with this beautiful bench top. One thing I've been trying to get into a habit of doing lately is when I leave the workshop at the end of a day or end of a week, anytime, is to clean everything up first. That way the next time I walk in, everything's super clean. It's kind of inspiring because you have that nice fresh big surface. What are we going to make? What are we going to do today? And that's kind of where we are. I walked in this morning. I had forgotten that I had refinished this whole top on Saturday afternoon when we were leaving, and it was just so nice when I walked in. Just kind of brightened up my start to the day. Walked in and seen this fresh top to do some leather work. Boy, this just keeps getting better and better. So here are our finished knife handles, and they feel great. They're finished sanded up to 1000 grit. They feel like silk in your hand. If you check out that size, it is just, in my opinion, for a neck knife, just absolutely the best. Simple, it just feels natural in the hand. They all look so good. The fit and finish turned out really, really well. And I'm just loving this juniper wood. I hope I can repeat some with the juniper in the future. But I randomly assigned number to these when I was fitting the scales, and now we've got to see, let's start at the top here. We've got to see what knives are what. These all have really gorgeous grain on them. I'm just going to carve off the back so I can easily fold the tape down. And let's see which number we have right here. Again, I have no idea. This is number 4. Lucky number 4. By the way, just look at that grain on this knife. Ugh. Let's see what this one is. It is, number 1. Look at that. That's a nice grain configuration for number 1. I'd say that's fitting to be the very first. And note, because I didn't know the numbers, these scales weren't assigned. I know the names of each person who picked the numbers, but by doing it this way, there's no bias in the scales that I selected for each person. So if you got the scale pattern that you didn't like as much, I'm sorry, everything was done completely random here. Zero bias by me. This is number 2. Lucky number 2. Man, that is so nice. Just look how that one turned out. Isn't that beautiful? That grain pattern, it's just so, so beautiful. See, this one here is marked number 1. Let's see what the knife says. Number 3. And isn't that pretty? They're all beautiful. They're all so, so beautiful. And the one marked number 3 turns out to be number 5. So that means the only one we haven't unwrapped yet, which is number 5, is actually number 6. So that is your number 6 right there. Just the leather work left to do. We have that, I'm not going to show you any close-ups yet, but we have all those handles fully done. So the blades now are completely done, just the leather work. We're sticking with this design. I put out a bit of a poll on the last video. This design seemed to go over real well, and I like it too. I think it's fantastic. Not the red though. Everybody, I'd say probably high 80s, 90% said to do a brown. A few people said black. A couple people really liked the red, but most people said brown. Didn't matter light or dark. So we're going to start cutting out these now out of our leather. I'm going to start riveting them. Then after riveting is when I do that finished edge and the burnishing. We have to put a grommet in, put on our snap. But first things first, let's start cutting them out. Okay, 6 sheets cut out. And now, since this leather is quite thick, and they have to do a pretty sharp fold because the knife has a pretty shallow belly and fairly thin handles. So it's got to do a pretty sharp fold, so we are going to hollow out some of this material here on the seam, and that'll give some room for it to double together there. Just going to sharpen up my beautiful vintage gouge, and we're on to the next step. Okay, so I've scooted on ahead a little bit. What I did was rough form these sheets, so I have them hollowed out there in that crease. You saw that. Then I fold them over, punch my holes, and tack the rivets. And that is pretty much all I've done. Now what I'm going to do is throw these on my belt sander and clean up these edges. You don't want to do those edges until after you have the rivets in, because the rivets will kind of push out the leather a little bit. This is actually something that I really pride myself on. I can't tell you how many times on Instagram and different places I see people doing leather work and not cleaning these edges. They're left wavy, and they're just one piece of leather is out further than the other, and it annoys the heck out of me. It takes so little time just to clean up these edges and make them perfect. So there, now we have a nice clean edge. Just a couple minutes work. This is buttery smooth here now, and it looks like a nice professional look. Now for the fun part, we get to see the beauty really come into these sheets. Up until now they're just raw leather, which looks great, but of course it shows dirt and stuff big time, smudges and things. But once you get that dye on there, you get a beautiful even finish. Using the Phoebing's dark brown right now. Just look how you start getting that awesome color. Dyeing leather is pretty addicting because leather dye is so potent. You just get that color come on there just as soon as it touches. It just soaks right into the leather. It's yeah, it's addicting. I usually do my edges and everything first before I dye the body of the sheath, because the body, the actual outside surface, is a little trickier to get it even. So I'll go ahead and dye my edges first.
rentals, okay? In the $800 to $900 rental range, I think it's very, very safe. I think it's a great place for you to be. We look at unemployment today in the United States is lower than it's been in 16 years, but income.
So you guys have been watching for an entire week now, and you know just how much work and sweat has gone into what you're about to see. So that's it, the very first run of the BAKEAPPLE. Couldn't be more proud, couldn't be more happy with the way these turned out, the design, the materials used, the color. Thank you guys for your help on deciding the sheath color. In my opinion, this is perfect right now. In my opinion, this is the perfect neck knife. Thank you guys so much for watching all of the episodes. I know it seemed like it dragged on for a while, but I've been having a blast filming, putting the videos out for you guys and hearing your feedback. I have to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of this video. I have to throw out a huge thank you to the sponsors of this video, and that would be the people who purchased the very first run of these knives. Big thank you to you five. Number one stays with me, but a huge thank you. Thank you so much to those of you who have already ordered models from the next run of BAKEAPPLEs. I truly believe this is a fantastic blade, and I'm so proud to have shown you guys the process. I definitely learned a ton new, both with my efficiency, my level of skill, my attention to detail, etc. I just learned a lot from this project, and it was great having you guys there supporting me all the way. Be on the lookout for another series like this again soon. This won't be the last one. The amount of support I've gotten, and it's just been a blast interacting with you guys every day. Thanks for watching. Please share this video. I'd love for you to share it. Get this content out there. It really helps me a lot. Hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks again.